On this edition of the Law Firm Marketing Podcast, client generation expert David Ackert and Larry Bodine offers up some very useful tips from the recent research by the Young Lawyers Division of the American Bar Association.
Overwhelmed marketing your law firm? Join the club. The Law Firm Marketing Podcast brings to you the tips, tools, and techniques from the experts that will grow your firm. If that isn't enough, ask the expert advice from the world's leading law firm marketing expert, Larry Bodine. Let's get started. Here's your host, Dan Toombs.
Hello, my name is Dan Toombs and welcome to another edition of the Law Firm Marketing Podcast brought to you by Grow Your Firm, the integrated marketing company that designs, implements and measures marketing campaigns for law firms in Australia and, of course, the United States. Now, you can find out more about Grow Your Firm at www.growyourfirm.com.au. Now, remember the .au at the end of that URL if you are outside Australia. Look, a big thank you to our last guest, Christina Halverson, who of course spoke extensively about content strategy and how to get it right in your firm. I've received numerous responses from listeners who really like what Christina said and consequently went out and bought a copy of her book, which I must say is essential reading if your firm is serious about doing this right. Paradoxically, many aren't, which offers an incredible opportunity for those firms who are. And on this note, I should mention that we will be bringing to our subscriber list via the Grow Your Firm website some very, very useful resources from not only our team, but other notable experts as well. David Ackert probably needs no introduction to many of our US listeners who would have undoubtedly benefited from David's incredible insight on how to grow your firm through some very smart business development strategies. David has served in the legal, corporate and finance and accounting sectors as an executive coach, trainer, marketer and strategic planner since the late 1990s. He's been a consultant and advisor to over 200 CEOs, executives and service firm partners hailing from both local and global companies and firms. He has developed and implemented business development programs for national legal, accounting and financial services firms. He is the founder of the Business Development Symposium for Lawyers, featuring industry thought leaders like Bill Flannery and, of course, Larry Bodine. David also is the founder of Practice Boomers, a distance learning program that teaches business development to lawyers and others. David, thank you for joining me for the Law Firm Marketing Podcast. It's really good to have you with us.
Thanks so much, Dan. Good to be here.
Hey, David, tell us a little bit about your work.
Well, I have a business development coaching and consulting background. I've been doing that in the legal space for a little over a decade. And about 2 years ago or so, we transitioned from a traditional coaching and consulting model into an e-learning one. So we added e-learning to the kinds of services that we provide, or probably a better way of saying it is we use e-learning as a platform to train lawyers on business development and how to here's this ugly word, sell their services to their clients.
Why is that such an ugly word?
Well, I think that at least, I think it's an ugly word for a lot of people. It's not just lawyers, but especially chafe at the sound of it for a couple of reasons. One, it's a fairly unsophisticated way of characterizing the process of influencing another person that you have something of value to give them. And to do for them. But I think beyond even that, for many years, certainly in America, it was considered unethical for lawyers to solicit clients to sell their services, and with good reason. You don't want somebody sending you a letter from a law firm saying, you better hire us or you might get sued. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that a lawyer could abuse their power. Now, I'm not suggesting that lawyers are quick to do that at all, but I do think that institutions were quick to recognize that and introduce a stigma into the culture. And so now lawyers call it business development, they call it marketing, when at the heart of it you are looking to inspire another person to see the opportunity of working with you and to take action on that opportunity. it's just become a fairly complicated landscape for lawyers. And I guess that's probably one of the reasons that people like me have something to do.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's a sort of funny type of paradox, isn't it? Because on one hand, you've got lawyers that are, so synonymous, I suppose, with what you've just expressed there about this reticence around trying to, solicit, for want of a better word, new clients. But on the other hand, you've got this whole suite, this plethora of marketing tools that allow lawyers to be really proactive. It is quite a dichotomy, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. I think even perhaps more so amusing if you consider that in England they're called solicitors.
Yeah, that's right. Well, in Australia as well, of course.
Are they? Okay, great.
Yeah. So there you go. David, why is it so important for lawyers to build an effective network of referral sources?
Well, this ties right back into what we were speaking about. If you have a powerful network of referral sources, then you don't have to do much selling. The phone is going to ring because you have surrounded yourself with people who are looking out for you and who have found opportunities that would be better suited for you than for them. So the more a lawyer can create this network of referral sources, or the way we call them in Practice Boomers, allies, the more allies a lawyer has around him or herself, ultimately the more robust their pipeline of prospective clients will be, and the bigger the book of business that they'll be able to build.
So how do they build this team of allies?
Yeah, well, this is a real challenge because I think, first of all, lawyers are incredibly busy, and so they don't have a lot of time to go out to networking groups and bar associations and mixers and shake a lot of hands and collect a lot of business cards. And even if they do that sort of thing, then there's the following up with all of those relationships. So it's a very time-consuming endeavor, and one of the reasons I would assert that there are so few rainmakers in the legal community. It's they just don't have the time to invest in that activity and do it well. So, one of the things that we talk about in Practice Boomers is the e-learning program that we use to
indeed, very good.
Yeah, educate lawyers on this stuff. So one of the things we talk about is how can you truncate that process of going from having a contact to having an ally? And there are a couple of ways to do that. So one is to take "you never know" out of your strategy. You have this is a very common thing that people do when they network. They'll take a lunch with someone who, at least on paper, sounds like they could refer them some work, because you never know. It could lead to something. Or I'll go to this bar association meeting because, you never know. Yeah. Right? They tell themselves you never know. And you never know ends up becoming very much a part of their strategy, or at least their theme in networking. And then it's followed by this other swan song, which is keep me in mind.
At www.lawfirmmarketingpodcast.com.